Now, for more on this, we are being joined by Ross Darrell Feingold, a political analyst from Taipei. Now, Ross, Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-Wen on a 10-day trip to Latin America. This is an attempt to gather support for a democratic Taiwan. What is she trying to achieve through this visit, and how successful is she likely to be?
Visits by Taiwan's president to the remaining countries that still have formal diplomatic relations with Taiwan is a regular occurrence, as the U.S. government spokesperson mentioned. So whether that's the countries in the Pacific or in the Caribbean or in Central and South America, these visits typically, or these transits in the U.S. and visits to those countries before COVID, usually takes place 2 or 3 times a year. And it's an important part of maintaining those relationships from the perspective of the Taiwan government. And obviously, it also gives Taiwan's president a chance to have some public events in the United States while on U.S. soil. So for Taiwan's diplomacy, its international visibility, maintaining the diplomatic relations, keeping in mind Taiwan just lost one within recent days when Honduras switched to China. It's part of that process. So it's no surprise that Taiwan's current president, Tsai Ing-Wen, will continue to do this. It would have occurred every year, 2 or 3 times over the past 3 years if it hadn't been for COVID. And just like the U.S. government spokesperson said, this is a regular occurrence 2 or 3 times a year, going back several decades already.
Right. And Ross, Beijing has warned of a retaliation if Tsai meets with the U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. With the U.S. saying that China must not use this visit to escalate any aggression in the Taiwan Strait, take us through the importance of these statements.
For China, they just don't like the fact that U.S. politicians, whether it's from the executive branch or the legislative branch, meet with Taiwan's president, whether those meetings occur here in Taiwan, such as then Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit last August, or in this case, it might very well take place in the United States. And of course, China objects, and they're going to say so with very strong language. And as we saw last August, they actually backed up their words with very large-scale military exercises, which of course is a great threat to Taiwan's security, and it forces Taiwan to take its own military action and activate its forces in response and demonstrate to the people of Taiwan that the government here is serious about defending Taiwan should there be a military intimidation or an actual attack. So part of this is also, I guess you could say, the drama. The Taiwan president transits the U.S. The U.S. government says it's not official. The U.S. government says we can't stop our legislators, in this case, the Speaker of the House, McCarthy, from meeting with Taiwan's president. China says, yes, you can stop him, and Taiwan basically proceeds to have the meeting because they think it's in Taiwan's best interest. So we've seen all of this before, actually numerous times. But there is a difference as time goes by, which is China continuously increases or improves its military capability. So if we look at an objection or a military exercise in response from China in years past versus what we saw last August with Pelosi's visit, again, what changes over time is China's display of force. Even if that's just a military exercise, these exercises do become an ever greater threat to Taiwan. And as I like to say, the people of Taiwan and stakeholders here, the government, the military, and the public, they have to do what's necessary to prepare for their defense.
Right. Ross, thank you very much for being with us and bringing your valuable insights there.
Thank you.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.